Let's now consider our second scenario. Same factory, but this time it's selling 1 million widgets a year already and is at full capacity. If the government creates $250,000 and seeks to buy widgets, all it will do is push up the price to $1.25 per widget. It will purchase 200,000 widgets, and the private sector, which previously was receiving 1 million a year, will now only get 800,000 widgets a year. Not only has inflation been created, but economic output has been diverted from the private sector to the public sector. The lesson here is that the amount of money a government can create without causing inflation is limited by the spare productive capacity in the economy, the gap in output between what is being produced and what the economy is capable of producing. Modern monetary theory then explains that governments can create money for public works and to create employment as long as there is spare capacity. But if that capacity is exceeded, the consequence is inflation. Earlier we asked two crucial questions about fiat currencies. Firstly, why don't governments just create all the money they need? And we've just seen that they can create as much money as they need as long as there remains spare economic capacity. If that is exceeded, then inflationary pressure can build up. This destroys Maxim 1, that governments should budget like households. After all, would you budget like a household if you could create as much money as you like? Governments are money creators, we are money users. Secondly, we asked, if governments can just create money, why bother with taxes? After all, people hate paying taxes and they are expensive and difficult to levy, administer and collect. And this is where it gets mind-bogglingly weird. We have always assumed that to finance public expenditure, the government has to first raise taxes. But modern monetary theory says precisely the opposite. Our MMT expert, Professor Stephanie Kelton, says that the idea that taxes pay for what the government spends is pure fantasy. Exactly, it's mind-bending, but let's step back and have a think. In days past, our current view makes perfect sense. Taxation had to come before expenditure. If a king wanted to build a palace or fund an army, he needed gold. He couldn't create it, so he had to tax to get it. But when we have a fiat currency, when money has no intrinsic value, when it's not backed by anything like gold, there is no need to raise taxes. You can just create money. This still doesn't answer the question, why bother with taxes? Well, from the perspective of modern monetary theory, taxes perform two key functions. Firstly, they ensure that people are prepared to use the government-backed currency. If they are required by law or force to pay taxes in the state-backed currency, then they have an incentive to be happy to be paid by government or others for providing goods and services. This gives them the currency they need to pay their taxes.